If you are repeating code in PHP, you are doing it wrong. Repeating code is very bad in PHP. Loop is the best solution. Master loops and your coding will become 10 minutes faster than before. Loops are one of the most powerful things in programming. Once you understand them, your code becomes faster, cleaner, and more professional. What is a loop? A loop is a way to repeat code automatically. If you are coding without looping, that means you are going to spend all your time writing code. But loop will make it to be easier, save your time, make your code to be more organized, more understandable. Okay, let me show you what we mean by looping. I want to do something like this. And we have to make this thing to be three. We just copy. So you see it. We did this without loop, and which it looks disorganized. It didn't look well. So okay, so I have to add BR. Okay, let's check this in our browser. Okay, we did this without loop. It look nice in our browser, but it looks so tattered in our code editor. Let's go back to our code editor. This is a bad way to do this because this is a long process. Instead, we do it with loop. Let me show you an example of what I mean by loop. This code is going to run three times because here we said for $I equals to 0, we assign a variable called $I and give it a value of 0. Now we said $I is less than 3, $I plus plus. So $I is actually less than 3 because $I is equals to 0. So now run our code here. If $I is less than 3, then $I plus plus. That means this code will run three times. Let's check in our browser. Okay. Do you see it? This is our loop here. So this code actually run three times. This is a smart way to do this, and it looks simple and easy. Both of them have same result, but this is cleaner. Both of them have the same result, but this one is the cleaner code, and this one is the best way to do it. We have four types of loops. So I'm going to show you all the four types of loops we have. Number one is for loop, most controlled loop. A for loop is a controlled structure used to repeat block of code a specific number of times. It is called most controlled because you decide where to start, when to stop, how to increase. Okay, let me show you example of for loop. That's fine. Okay, you see what you get here. This is for loop. Yes. So this is for loop. Okay, look at what you did here. We said for $I equals to 0 by creating a variable, then give it a value of what? 0. Then you say $I is less than 5. That means $I should not count more than 5. Then $I plus plus. This plus plus means multiply. So this $I is going to multiply, but it's not going to be more than 5 because you said $I is less than 5. So then learn the code. That means echo $I. So this is going to be counting from 1 to this is going to be counting from 1 to 5. So this is going to loop 5 times. So but normal, in PHP, it doesn't count. It is, if you want to count, it doesn't start from 1. It starts from 0. So that is how PHP counts normal. So this thing is going to be counting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is what? 5 times. That means this thing loop 5 times. Okay, let's go to our browser. This is our result of our for loop. So you said $I should loop 5 times. So it's in our code you said $I should loop 5 times. But here $I looped 5 times, but it starts counting from what? Zero, because in PHP we count from zero. So can you see it? Zero, one, two, three, four. That means our code run normal. So this $I loop 5 times, but it is counting from zero. That is what you have to understand now. Okay, let me show you the basic syntax. Let's go back to our code editor. What we actually did here, we said for, which is this, for, then create a variable, that's where our code starts. That our code start. You will give it a condition. So we give it a condition, then increase it. Here we run our code. So this is how this thing works. We start our code by creating a variable here, giving it equals to zero, then give it a condition here, then increment our code, then here we run our code. So this is how this thing works. So how this thing is actually counting. Let me show you how this thing is actually counting. Okay, we said I equals to what? Equals to zero. So in I is equals to zero, that means, okay, let me show you how this thing is actually counting. How this thing is actually counting. PHP counts I, I, I0, I0. But in our normal count, we do I1. You understand? So PHP now do I1. In our normal count, we do I2. Then PHP now do I3. Normal count, we do PHP now do I2. Normal count, we do I3. Then PHP now do I3. Normal, we do I4. Then PHP do I4. Normal count, we do I5. So do you understand what I did now? So this is how PHP counts. This is how PHP counts, and this is how we count. So this is how we count, and this is how PHP counts. So it started I 0, I 1, I 2, I 3, I 4, which is 5 times. But us, if you want to count normal, if they say you should count I to 5, you count I1, I2, I3, I4, and I5. Number two, we have while loop. A while loop is used to repeat a block of code as long as a condition is true. Unlike for loop, it is unlike for loop, you don't fix the number of time in advance. It keeps running until the condition becomes false. Okay, let me show you example of while loop. In a while loop, okay, first you have to create a variable called $I and give it a value of what? 0. Then come here and do while $I less than 5. While $I less than 5, we started our code. Then run our code echo $I LABR. When you echo $I, then pros $I plus. Then we will now increment it. You see it here. We started our code. Then we give it a condition here. Then we run our code. Then we increment it. This is what we mean by while loop. Let's check in our browser. This is it. Okay, I just copy this. So we can know different. Okay, this is while loop. This is where our while loop started. Do you understand what we did here? Here we started our code and we give it a condition, and then we run our code and we increment it. How this thing work? I equals to 0. We started our code. Then I is less than 5. We use this to check condition. I is less than 5. Then here we run our code. If true, run the code. If I is less than 5, you know I is equals to 0. Then we said if I is less than 5, run the code. If true that I is less than 5, run the code. Then once the code run I plus. Do you understand what we did there? Okay, let me show you the basic syntax. Yeah, we started our code first. Then we did while, give it condition. So whenever the condition is true, run the code. Then after running the code, increment. So this is our basic syntax of our code. Okay, let me say if you do I equals to 1, if you do I equals to 2, 3, then come here and say if I is less than 2, run this code. Though this code is not going to run because I is not less than 2. I is greater than 2. I is not less than 2. Let's check in our browser. You see it. Our code is not going to run because this condition is false. So that's why when you change it to I is less than 5, then I is equals to 0. Our I will run. So this is how we use while loop in our PHP. So number 3, we have do while loop. Okay, let's copy this here. A do while loop is a similar to a while loop, but with one key difference. With one key difference, it always run. A do while loop is a similar to a while loop, but with one key difference. It always run at least once, even if the condition is false. Okay, this is example of do while loop. Let's do the practical. First of all, I have to create a variable I equals to 0. Then do echo $I. Do echo $I, then $I plus plus. Then come here and say why $I is less than 5. You understand what you did here? Here we started our code, then we run our code, increment it, now give it a condition. You see it? So now this code have a value, it will run, increment, then it will now come down here and check this condition. So it will run once, even though condition is what? False. Even though this condition is false, it will run because it's going to run first, then I come here and check this condition. Okay, let's check in our browser. Okay, this is it. We get our do while loop. So this is how do while loop runs. Okay, let me say if you change this to 3 and give it a condition of $I less than 2, it will what? It will give you $I equals to 3 because $I is 3. Here we equaled $I here. We run $I. It will just give you the answer of $I. So this code is going to run even though the the code is false or true, it will run. Let me say if you give this condition before running our code, like how we did while loop, this tree is not going to show. This thing is not going to give you any result. It will not run at all. Okay, let's just change this thing to 0. How this thing works, here we started the code, run the code first, increment it, then check the condition. Okay, let me just give you the basic syntax. Um, so this is how our code run. We started the code, run the code, increment, then check the condition. Once this condition is true, run. If the condition is false, stop. Now let's go to number 4, which is for each loop. This is very important. For each loop is used to loop through arrays easily without worrying about index. It is very important because it is the simplest and safest way to work with arrays, especially associative and multi-dimensional arrays. Okay, let me show you example of for each loop. You have to copy this first. So before we start our for each loop, first you have to create an array. In my past video, I I made a video. If you go to my past video, you see where I teach how to create an arrays, everything about arrays. Okay, now let's create an array. So now we are going to use this array in our for each loop. So how we use array in for each loop? First, you have to do for each dollar names as dollar name echo dollar name. So this is how we do our for each loop. Let's check this in our browser. Okay, this is our for each loop. Now this is a very simplest and safest way to work with arrays. Okay, let me show you how to use for each loop with key and value. This is very important for you. Now we are creating our array. Okay, now after creating our array, we come down here and do for each dollar user as you know, I'm showing you how to use for each loop with key and value. Then here we did for each dollar user as what? Dollar key equals to dollar value and get echo dollar key dollar value. Then add your BR. Okay, let's check this in our browser. This is how our for each loop work with an array. Dollar name Ben, email ben@gmail.com, age 20. If you want to learn more about arrays, go to my past video. You will see where I taught everything about array, all the type of array, multi-dimensional array and associative array with other arrays. You can learn more about it in my past video. Okay, let's go to so how it works. It takes each item in the array, assign it to a variable, which is dollar value, runs the code for each item, automatically handle index for you. Okay, let me show you the basic sentence that we are actually doing here. What we did, we said for each dollar array, This is our array user. Our array as dollar value. Because here we said dollar key equals to value. That means I have what he did here is, let me just remove this dollar. It's making this thing to look dynamic. So here we did dollar key as what value. So what he did here for each array as what value, because dollar key is equals to what value. Then run the code. So this is very simple and easiest to work with an array. So why for each is very important. One, no need of index, no dollar I, no counting, simple and clean. For each, look through every item in array easily. It automatically gives you each item in array one by one. We also have loop control, break, stop loop, continue, skip, and nested loop. Okay. Now let me show you an example of loop control. In loop control, they have three types of loop control. You have break, continue, and nested. Okay, how to use break to control loop? Like whenever you do something like this, for $I equals to 0, $I less than 10, $I plus plus. If $I equals to 5, then break, then go ahead and do echo $I. So what we actually did here, we said $I, we started the code equals to 0, we started the code, $I less than 10, condition, $I plus plus, increment. Then here we write another code, we said if we give another condition here, we said if $I equals to 5, break, equal $I. So since $I is not equals to 5, because $I is what? 0, this code is going to break. Let's check in our browser. Okay, just go ahead and copy this. So if $I is equals to what? 5, this code will break here and what? Run our code equal what? $I. So that means this code is going to run 5 times, because here we said if $I is equals to 5, break, then echo $I. So if you come to our browser, okay, this is it. Let's add a BR. So this code actually run 5 times here. So this is how we use break in our loop. Okay, let's go to continue. So to continue our loop, yeah, we say for dollar I equals to 0, dollar I is less than 5, then dollar I plus. Okay, let's do this. If dollar I equals to 2, continue, can come back here and do echo dollar I er. Okay, this is what you did here. We said that I equals to 0. We created the variable and give it a value of 0. We started our code here. Then $I is less than 5. Give it a condition. $I plus increment. Then here we did if $I equals to 2. Continue. That means when this code is running and get to so that means this code will keep on running because he said if $I equals to 2, continue. So $I is not 2. $I is not equals to 2. $I is equals to 0. So here we said if $I equals to 2, continue. Okay, let's check this in our browser. Okay, continue loop. Here we get 0, we did 1, and the thing continue from what? 3 and what? 4. Let me say if you do something like this, $I equals to 2. Let's check what will happen. Okay, this is it. Since $I is equals to 2, it will continue from what? 3 and 4. But if $I is equals to 0, it will start from what? 0, 1, then continue from 3 and 4. There is no 2 here because here we said if $I equals to 2, continue. So let's look after nested group. Okay, let me show you an example of nested rule you do for $I equals to, okay, let's make it 1. Then $I less than equals to 3. $I plus. We also do for $j equals to 1. $j less than equals to 2 $j plus plus. Then equal $i $j. Okay, let's check this in our browser. Did you see what we got here? This is $i. This line is $i, and this first line is for $i, and this second line is what? $j. Here we said $i equals to 1. We started the code. We give it a condition of $i is less than equals to what? 3. $i is less than equals to 3. Then $i plus plus for $j equals to 1. $j less than equals to 2. $j plus plus. Then we run our code. This okay, what we actually did here, we loop inside another loop. This is looping inside another loop. $i is equals to 1 and $j is equals to 1. Then, but in our condition, we said $i is less than equals to 3 and $j is less than equals to 2. Then we said plus plus. We increment our code. So that's why you get $i is equals to what? 1, 2, and 3. Here we get 1, 2, and 3. So one thing you have to know about all this loop is for means when you know how many times. While loop means condition control loop. For each loop is array. You loop it with what? Array. Most use with what? Array. In the next video, I will show you array plus loop together with what? Database. Loop displays database. See RUD systems. Loops repeat code. Condition when it stops. Increment how it moves. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow for more tutorials. Thank you.